Have you seen Gary Ablett Senior's YouTube video on the virus being deliberately released?
Oh no, I did hear about this. This was months ago, right?
It was about a year ago. It was late last year.
Okay, remind me. Is he talking about what's he talking about?
It's a 27-minute YouTube video discussing his belief in the COVID-19 being manufactured and released by the Illuminati and the Freemasons.
Oh boy.
In order to depopulate the earth.
Oh no.
Create a cashless society. And I think he was saying to put Lucifer on the throne of the world.
Wowzers in my trousers.
This is God telling us as well.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I like it when they do that.
That's a little bit of homework for you. I know you gave me some homework last week. You should go away and watch that.
Okay.
He says stuff like, as Christians, he's studied a lot of end of days prophecy and stuff in the Bible.
It's good stuff. It's good stuff.
Right. That's one reason why I'm reading the Bible. I'm trying to find it, but it doesn't make any sense. So, like, I skim over these things. Like, when he talks about certain passages, I went and got my Bible and I was like, man, I read over this. And I didn't even, sometimes I put a little mark next to it or I annotate. I go like, ooh, like, you know.
Or if you see it on a tattoo of an MMA fighter, you're like, oh, look that up. I'll find out what that is.
Yeah. But a lot of these things you just read over. Like, they don't really resonate with me when I'm reading them. So it's the way you read it. But he says as Christians that we live in really exciting times.
Yeah, if it is the end times, they love it. They're all about it.
He's very confident about it. He's actually looking forward to it. He says the rapture of the church is imminent.
Yeah. Well, no, not the church.
So what is the rapture? What does the rapture mean?
So the rapture means that I think God comes back, like Jesus comes back.
Yep, that's what I thought.
And he hangs around for a bit, or it happens immediately. But the sort of like the earth opens up, yeah, and all the good souls, all the good people, they get ascended into heaven immediately.
That makes sense. Yeah,
right? Safe. And then the people who are left have to deal with fire and brimstone and death and destruction and just all horrible stuff for ages.
Yeah.
And I think, like, once you die in the Matrix at that point, like you die in the rapture, I think it's like eternal purgatory. It's like, which I imagine is like a grey room.
And you just left to your own devices.
Yeah, it's sort of just the sorry, you weren't good or particularly bad or whatever. Because, like, I don't know. Maybe you could. Maybe you go to hell. Yeah, maybe you go to hell.
This reminds me, when you say that it's just a grey room or something, apparently I have fact checked this before. The quietest room in the world is I don't remember how many decibels it is. It's something like 45, and I think you got to remember that each time something goes up by 3 decibels, it's doubling in sound intensity. So although decibel 45, like really loud shit's 120, right? Have you ever heard that's like a rock concert is like above 100. So you got to realize that each time you're halving the intensity of the sound. So each time you go down 3 decibels. So 45, I think that's what it was. But so don't that needs fact checking, but the next part doesn't. So the quietest room in the world, no one spent longer than 45. No one has been able to spend more than 45 minutes in it.
I thought it was way less. I thought it was like 5 minutes or something, because people will go into this room and it's if you haven't seen it, it's like wooden grooves in the room.
I haven't seen it. Is that what?
Yeah. So they're like grooves done in a specific way, so that when you lie down in the middle, I assume, or sit down in a chair in the middle, you can't hear anything so much that you start hearing stuff you've never heard before. Like,
I've got a
blood pumping
picture.
Your blood pumping in your veins and stuff. You'll hear, so it'll freak you out. And I think it's also to do with sensory deprivation, because if the human brain is deprived of stimulus, it begins to create its own to maintain I don't know, normal brain function. So people in those isolation tanks can like have essentially like a, I don't know if you call it like a trip, I guess, because their brain doesn't know what to do, hasn't got any inputs, and just
Yeah.
starts feeding itself, which is amazing, by the way. But so tell me, 45 minutes someone stayed in this room? That would be
This headline I've just seen here as well. Earth's quietest place will drive you crazy in 45 minutes. See,
wow.
if he said to me, I'll give you $1 million if you can just stay in this room 45 minutes, I'd say, thank you for your $1 million. Thank you very much. I'm going in and I'm just going to hang out there for a bit, right? How easy does it sound? But it's obviously
Dude,
it's obviously,
you win $1 million and you set a world
don't you
record
just
at the
lie
same
down?
time.
Don't you just lie down and just like chill out?
I don't know. I don't know, man. I don't know. What are these people experiencing to want to get out of the room? What's happening?
See, that I don't know. It says the Orfield Laboratories, once dubbed the quietest place on Earth, is now open to the public and it has become a tourist hotspot.
So you could try it.
$600 per hour per person, but if no one can make 1 hour, then you're paying too much.
Yeah, but you have to pay for the full hour, even if you stay in for 20 seconds.
Yeah,
Smart.
You should get your money back if you make it, because then that way we're actually testing.
You'll get a T-shirt. You'll definitely get a T-shirt for that. Oh, are you kidding me? They've got to have T-shirts for that. You'll be the only person who did it.
You'll be, here we go. Okay. Oh, I see. It's $600 per hour per person, and you'll be charged for the time you want to attempt, whether you succeed or not, as the time must be reserved for your attempt. Oh, so you say,
yes,
yeah,
I'm going for the hour, and they go, and then you pay them $600, and then they go, this fucking joker will be out in 2 minutes.
I've got a business idea for you.
Yeah, go on.
Let's open up one of these in Perth. They're charging $600 per hour.
I think it'd be a great idea but, obviously incredibly hard to do.
But once you've done it once, don't you just copy the plans or something? Maybe you need some very particular wood, and it looks pretty fancy. You're right. I'm looking at a picture of it now. It looks really cool.
So it is what I was thinking, like a wooden room with like grooves.
It's kind of like little little pyramids almost.
Well, in
giant chisels.
In ancient Egypt, they had those resonance chambers. You ever seen those?
Yeah.
So you meant to like stand in the middle of this room and make a sound, and the sound will feed itself in the room and amplify it and all sorts of cool stuff.
Resonate, yeah.
There was a couple of good ones. There was that room, which is on an episode of what's his show? Uncharted X. He's a YouTuber I watch on ancient Egypt stuff. Really good.
Okay.
He does this really good bit in a resonance chamber with this local guide that he always hangs out with. Really cool dudes. And the other one is that pyramid in must be Aztec, Mayan, one of the two.
Yeah.
Mayan, where you clap at the bottom of the staircase, and up the top because there's a little pyramid at the top of the pyramid. There's a box like with a room in it that will capture the sound. Shoots back at you the sound of like a tweeting bird.
That is just amazing engineering for the time.
Incredible. So this would have been dedicated to like Quetzalcoatl or something, like a god bird thing, right?
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah.
And so imagine the followers down at prayer time, right?
Yeah.
When they would like all together, they would clap at this thing, right?
Raucous applause.
And it would just be a sea of bird sounds that would just create this amazing, like, you know.
Do you think that was an accident or was it intentional? Because how do you design something like that if you haven't?
Two possibilities. They built the pyramid, put the thing at the top, clapped at the bottom, went, that sounds like a bird. Let's do a bird god. That is brilliant. Let's do that. And we're all going, how genius are they for building this bird thing? And they're like, no, other way around. We built a thing that sounded like a bird. And then we were actually going for like a big, like, leopard roar or some shit, but it ended up being the tweeting bird. So we had to sort of scrap the plans and go with Quetsies.
I was just thinking, because we were talking about the rapture, and
Yeah.
Gary Ablett Senior. He made a couple other comments that I found interesting. He said that at this time and soon, because he says that this is imminent. He said
They all say it's
he wanted
imminent.
to get this out there now because he's
Yeah.
like, it is happening, and it was a real call to action actually, to become a Christian now.
Otherwise,
He says you still have a chance to get on in this in rapture action. You want some rapture action?
You don't want to be that. You don't want to be that. You don't want to do that.
He said that soon the Antichrist will be revealed.
Yes, that's part of the jam.
So and that's why Jesus comes back to defeat the Antichrist kind of thing. But he says he doesn't say who the Antichrist is. He says Christians know who he is.
Wow.
Do you know who he is? Do you know who? Can we ask some Christians? Can we get some Christians to write in? What's the email?
Do you guys know? Do you guys know who it is? So yeah, email us. Let us know.
I was really upset that because you can't comment on his video. There's no comments enabled, and I was like, man, like who's the Antichrist? Like let us know. Don't dangle this juicy story and then don't give me the critical bit of information.
It's very interesting. I've never heard we all know, everybody knows. Never heard that sort of thing.
He said he wasn't going to say. He says, but if you're Christian, you'll know.
You know, what he's probably done, because I've fallen victim to this as well, is he's looked up one conspiracy theory, and then he's looked up another one, and those two kind of linked a little bit in his head. Mm-hmm. He went, "Oh, I like this one and this one together. This is great." And then when COVID happened, I reckon he went, "Oh, this is perfect. This fits in beautifully with how I've been, my current view of the world." This is what happens. By the way, I'm giving you a bit of an in-look there. But
inside the conspiratorially minded.
Totally. You must have heard of this in your travels around the internet. It's the Georgia Guidestones.
Haven't come across them.
This basically there was a man, 1979. He wanted to create essentially like what is, you'd call it like an art installation in the middle of nowhere, I believe. And it's just, well, maybe not in the middle of nowhere, but you know, it's just on a spot. It's 3 or 4, and it's 4 big pillory things. Holding up a central like holding up a big flat top, and it's got a sort of Stonehenge-y in appearance, but sort of on a minor scale. And it's got all these words on it, and it's like translated. It's in English. It's in another thing. It's in a few languages, and it's all this stuff, rules to follow for the world, right? A message consisting of 10 guidelines or principles is engraved on the Georgia Guidestones in 8 different languages. 1 language on each face of the 4 upright stones, moving clockwise around the structure from due north. So it's English, Spanish, Swahili, Hindi, Hebrew, Arabic, traditional Chinese, and Russian. Okay. And here's the 10 things. I'm trying to just, I don't know if they're all good, but I'm just going to.
When did you say it was built?
What's that? 1979.
79. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, so the monument was unveiled in 1980.
Okay. Sorry, did you say it was where's Georgia, America, right?
Yes. So one of the first one is maintain humanity under 500 million in perpetual balance with nature. That's number 1.
Do you know Gary Ablett Senior said they're trying to reduce the population to 500 mil? Must be a popular number.
That's exactly where I was going with that, because I guarantee you he's looked into this one and it fit with his new one. You know what I mean? So he actually did say 500 million.
He did, yeah.
So he's fully on board with this then.
Could be a coincidence, but yeah.
Says, the next one, guide reproduction wisely, improving fitness and diversity. Number 3, unite humanity with a living new language. See what I mean about it all just would have just fed into his other ones, like so naturally. Rule passion, faith, tradition, and all things with tempered reason. It's like the new 10 commandments. That's what it wants to be. But it's super weird already. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. How many are there?
There's 10.
There's 10.
I don't
Okay.
even know if they're all good, but like, I don't think we need to go through the whole
Are they
list.
do they sort of reflect Christian values and
Yeah. Well,
because I assume he was a redneck, right?
it's a
Georgia.
lot of, yeah, but it's a lot of human stuff like protect people and nations with fair laws and just courts. That's a pretty good rule. I think we can all pretty much get on board with that one. You know what I mean? It's kind of like when you read the commandments, you're like, yeah, thou shalt not kill. That's a really good one. Definitely keep that. But all the other stuff, the first three can probably go. About like, keep the Lord's Day holy and all that sort of stuff. Like that doesn't affect anybody too negatively. Like, just let bygones be bygones.
Was that a commandment? Keep the Sabbath
Yep.
holy or whatever? Yeah, okay.
Yep.
All right.
That's
Interesting.
up there.
That's a big one that we break. Like
Yeah.
my parents, you get drummed into you. We go to a Catholic school and they go on about 10 commandments. No one ever gives me shit about doing stuff on the Sabbath.
Yeah.
No one's ever said that you shouldn't do that. They just go like, oh, we don't really listen to that one.
It doesn't mean don't do stuff, man.
What's it mean? What's the actual wording of it? What's it say?
It's pretty much don't work on Sunday.
Okay, all right, I don't work.
But also go and see the Lord at his church.
Wait, I thought it was Saturday. I thought the Sabbath is Saturday.
No, it's Sunday in Catholic.
Maybe I'm thinking of Jewish stuff.
But like, I believe it's Sunday.
Sabbath day, seventh day versus first day. According to Exodus, the Sabbath is a day of rest on the seventh day.
Because God rested on the seventh day.
Of course. Of course, it all makes sense now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. This thing, what day is Sabbath, Saturday or Sunday? The Sabbath is still Saturday, not Sunday. It has never been changed. But the Sabbath is part of the Old Testament law and Christians are free to ... I didn't click on it. But okay, so I think that I'm guessing.
I thought it was the day you went to church, which would have been Sunday, I guess.
Okay. I reckon Jews have, I think technically it's Saturday, but we just kind of...
I'd say it's 100% Saturday. Yeah. The other laws on this Georgia Guidestones, they're all fine, man. Like, for the most part, except for the in the first two, they're talking about like having less people by a lot, and guiding reproduction wisely, improving fitness and diversity. Look, I understand what you're saying, but you can't guide reproduction. It's one of the rules. Avoid petty laws and useless officials. I'm skipping down the list now.
It's long. TLDR.
Balance personal rights with social duties. I think that's all fine. Prize truth, beauty, love, seeking harmony with the infinite. That is a good one. I like that one.
Good one. Seeking harmony with
and this one I think we can all get on board with as well, which is number 10. This is be not a cancer on the earth.
Ooh.
Leave room for nature. And then it says again, leave room for nature. That's a bit cryptic. It says it twice.
It kind of ties in with the depopulate thing. I mean, we are nature, but you want to leave room for other nature.
More nature.
Nature.
I thought it was meant to be perpetual balance. So
I'm all for people introducing things like that. Like, we don't have to stay with the old traditions that have been set. Do your pillars, your guidestones or whatever. But also the fact he's got 12 languages on there, doesn't that sort of contradict his one language kind of policy?
Yeah, I mean, they need a new living language, Maybe the new language will be like computers.
So it says a living language. That's interesting language. It just says the word language a lot then.
But it says unite humanity, which I think we can all get on board with a living new language. And I'm on board with this idea that it's got to be like a computer assisted will create the next language. If I could, using my Neuralink, talk English to, a man, from China, and he can talk back in Chinese and I'll understand him perfectly. We have a living language now. We've got this through technology, sure, but I like it. But these Georgia Guidestones are not fun because the first thing it says on it is depopulate the world, which is what Gary Ablett's latched onto. He didn't look at any of the other ones too much, I reckon. He's just gone, Hate that bit. That's bad. And yeah, dude, like, yeah.